Yeah, because I was surprised because the club in Italy asked us to be the that's all we have to do. We have their responsibility. And then the whole and then it went and looked and it isn't. I appreciate it. Thank you. Nice. I can't wait to see that check in the mail.
Good afternoon, and welcome to the January 25th meeting of the Brentwood Rotary Club. Y'all know who I am, so I don't need to announce that because I've seen what the guest list is and everybody here knows who I am. So, I do like to announce that today marks the end of the 7th month of my 12-month sentence. 5 months to go, and I'm a free man. All right, so the invocation today is going to be done by Linas Sudzius, followed by Alan Treadway with the pledge and 4-way test. Linas.
Would you pray with me, please? Heavenly Father, thank you for the blessing of this cool but glorious day. The blessings of fellowship and of family and of the food that you provided for us. Father, today I'm praying especially for you to put your healing hands around Ben Turner, Roger Wheelwright, Mike Walker, Ray Little, and any of the other club members who are suffering, because I know that there are many in the room who are suffering silently with health or other personal issues. And I'd ask that you put your arms around those in need to help them. And Father, I pray that you help me and all gathered here live up to the Rotary tradition of service above self. It's in Christ's name that I pray. Amen.
Amen. Now if you'll join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Now join me in the 4-way test of the things we say, think, and do. First,
is it the truth?
Second,
is it fair to all concerned?
Third,
will it build goodwill and better friendships?
Fourth,
will it be beneficial to all concerned?
Alrighty, we have a few announcements to get to. First off, Patrick Wright is going to make an announcement.
This is the last time you'll see my ugly mug, hopefully for a while. Tomorrow's a big day, Little Hartford cleanup. We start at 9 o'clock at the Brentwood Library in the community rooms there. That's where we'll gather. I would encourage you to get there between 8 and 8:30. It's always chaotic when you've got 100 plus folks in a room that holds about 75 and tables and donuts and coffee and all that good stuff. Those of you who've signed up, I'd appreciate you all being there. Most of the club labor I need is kind of before the event. If you're interested in leading a section, I've got some scouts I know coming from my son's troop, about 15 of them from Sunset. But I'd like to kind of put them all on one section. They have not done the cleanup before, so they'll be newbies. But look forward to seeing you all out there. It's going to be a nice day. The good Lord's going to bless us with, I think, 45 and sunny, light winds. Can't ask for anything better than that, considering what the forecast was last weekend. So anyway, any questions for me? Thanks so much.
Okay, so I skipped something. Keely, you want to introduce our guest, please?
Sure.
Thanks.
I will introduce our guest. We have a couple of repeat guests today. Sherry, who's your host today?
This guy.
All right, this guy's going to introduce this gal.
I walked in with Sherry Koss, and nobody greeted me, but one greeted her. She went through orientation today. Just a couple of things to remember. You can always blackball a member. She is an Alabama fan, and one of her sponsors is Mike Heinman. But in my time with her, I would really appreciate your consideration. Sherry, you have anything you want to say? All right, thank you.
That's going to be a tough introduction to follow. Susie, are you? No. Jack. Jack has our next guest to introduce.
Thank you. Today we have Bradley Hamilton. He's been here before. And Bradley is the executive director of Morning Point, where my father was. Thank you.
And we have one that snuck in just a few moments ago.
This is Andres Bustamante. Great story. You know, he came to my office to interview for a job, and I gave him a couple assignments like I do all people that are starting out in business, and he came back. And he called me up and said, hey, I've done some more. He came back. Eventually, I turned to him and said, you want a job? And he started. He's been phenomenal. He's heading up my Spanish division of National Parent. He's from Colombia, speaks English perfectly and Colombian, and it's been a great blessing.
Back to you, President. I'll get back to you in a minute. Okay, Susie Lindsay has an announcement.
Next week is the last week to order shirts that say Rotary Club of Brentwood. I have one of the model right here. Yes, we have 2 different colors.
That's the best model you could come up with.
we have navy blue and royal blue. This is the royal blue, so shirt orders are due next Friday. Thank you.
All righty. Drew Rogers was told he has an announcement to make.
I do. Donna published invoices. They went out on Monday or Tuesday. I have the ability to take credit cards for dues payments. I will stay after the meeting to do that for anyone that would like to pay by credit card. So thank you.
All righty.
And you can pay online. Jack reminded. Yes.
Okay. Roger Greenup asked me to pass on that they are reading at Scales Elementary, first grade, on February 19th at 12:10 p.m. So we are in need of readers for that. And if you would, see Roger Greenup and get on the list to do that.
Get an email out.
I'm sorry?
Get an email out next week.
Roger will get an email out next week. Did y'all hear that? Email next week. Okay. All right. We're going to do something neat today. We're going to induct a new member. And so, Marla and Ian, if you would come up, please.
Hi. This is Ian Kelly. He is a new member today. I'm so happy that he decided to join our club. He's great. You guys will enjoy getting to know him. Just a couple things about him. I will read because I don't want to mess it up. He is vice president at Synovus Bank in Brentwood and has 3 boys, 8, 9, and 11, correct? They're all playing basketball now.
I've been there, not
okay.
from there.
Where are you from?
Connecticut.
He's from Connecticut originally, but they live in Thompson. But lives in Thompson Station, correct? Nope. Oh my gosh. Okay, lives in Fairview, and he's been married for 12 years to Erica. You know that. And but anyway, I just want you guys to say hi to him, and thanks for joining Rotary.
Thank you.
Just like back in the 1800s, us Northerners had taken over the South. Okay. I do need to make the announcement about the cornhole tournament today. We had 2 fascinating games today. You know, you really should come early to watch this. It's really pretty neat when you get games like this. On the men's side, Warren Bryant and Rick Finke battled right down to the wire, with Warren becoming victorious and continue his quest to take on Jeff Hughes in a rematch last year. And on the ladies' side, Daggers Robinson started out hot and won the first match, but Marla Parsons came back in the second, and then the third match came down literally to the last throw with Marla beating Sana, so Marla moves on. So congratulations to those folks. And now, we're going to go back to Keeley Hall for Happy Bucks. Mr. Hall.
All right, here we go. Who's happy? Come on now. Raise a hand. All right, we got one up in front. All right. Make me work for it here. Hurry, what are you happy about?
I'm happy that when they talked about models, our leader, Bill, Mike, would you consider that he's a model president?
God, I hope not.
Do you think he's a model husband?
Not if you ask my wife, especially this morning.
If you look up the definition of a model in the dictionary, it says it's a small example of the real thing.
All right.
When are you going back to Michigan?
So I'm putting 10 in because I'm really, really happy because I'm going to be a grandmama at home.
All right, we got 10 going once. Who's got 20?
I was excited just because my son said, "Dad, your prayers are answered." I said, "Don't say it." His immediate coach was really, really a tough SOB, and he decided to go to Tampa Bay. So all the specialists at Mississippi State went out and partied like rock stars. But he was selected for the ESPN All-Bowl game. It's exciting. He's got a record 70-yard punt, which is an NCAA record for a bowl.
Mr. Hindman with a rebuttal or the statement made earlier, I'm sure. Oh, hey! All right, so we got 20 going once.
I'm
Who's got 30?
extremely pleased. Many know that I'm proud of my wife, but I'm a little bit more proud of her today. Last night at the Berkshire Hathaway Gala, she announced she was the #1 selling agent, 4 out of 125 agents. This was the 3rd year in the role for her, so as we were proceeding there last night, she said she just wanted to get a hat trick, although on the way home she said she's going for 4. So.
Who else is happy? Happy people. Happy. Oh, all right.
Quick, get it while it's hot. Nathan's not usually happy.
Congratulations to Roger and his guys for reading over at the elementary school. Thank you for doing that. Just a reminder, last year, don't tell Norris how that book ends. He's still working on it. So.
All right, who else we got? We got space for 2 more. Who are going to be our last 2 happy people? Come on now. 2 more. All right. Never mind. We have no space. Back to you.
Thanks, Keely. Okay, so I got an email a few minutes before the meeting started from our program chair that basically said that he's been sick all week and his wife told him he had to stay home, he couldn't come. So he's not going to introduce our speaker, to which I say, wham, because I've been sick all week and yet I'm here. So I'm going to be the one to introduce our speaker, and I'm going to introduce our speaker the way he told me to introduce him the last time I had to introduce him. So here's Larry.
Thank you, Mr. President. Good morning. It's golf time, folks. It's only been 6 months since I was up here. We got to get this thing going. I'm going to show you some film. We got some special video from last year's tournament. So some of my members and things. So watch this video real quick and we'll get started. There we go. I'd like to thank Norris Johnson for most of those. He offered those from his personal collections. So, you know, we have a whole program here on the golf tournament, and I know everybody thinks, well, how important is a golf tournament? Well, how important is a golf tournament exactly? It's $91,347 worth of importance to this club for the last 2 years. So that's why we're up here today, and that's why we're pushing on a more serious picture level. Here are a couple. So those of you who were not at the tournament, didn't get a chance to come out, this just gives you a little bit of flavor of what it's like out there on tournament day. There's that's our first threesome. That's Michael King, Rodney Lund, and Norris Johnson. You can guess which one's which, but they're on the first tee getting ready to go off. That's our, That's our sponsor sign that all of our major sponsors on. That sits out by the registration desk, so everybody sees that when they come in. Registration desk, you can see 4 of our members in there registering people and giving away prizes and taking their money. It's an interesting, busy time for a few hours. That's the patio area of the Brentwood Country Club in the back where most people eat lunch, and you can see it's starting to gather. It's still early, but that fills up before the tournament with people. It's a very busy place. And that's 3 of our members working really hard in the area there around lunchtime. I'm not sure what they're doing, but I know they're working. And then that's everybody going to their carts and getting ready to play. The carts are lined up on the cart path up and down. There's 40 golf carts sitting out there. There's 60 golf carts sitting out there, and everybody's walking to their carts getting ready and ready to play golf. Oh yeah, that's right. There's some more members in the Synovus tent. Ian, how about that, buddy? And I don't know exactly what Freeman's going to do with those flyers he's got, but evidently he plays a different game of golf. Anyway, that's some of our members. This is Warren warming up with the cannon that they have on the 10th hole and showing his ability to shoot a golf ball 300 yards. Okay. So now, another thing we have to do is very important because we have a tournament tradition I'm sure you all have been asking about is what hat is Larry going to wear this year? Remember the first year I wore a Ben Hogan hat every time I spoke. Last year it was a Masters visor. This year it's a Masters member. That hurt. It's a Masters members hat. So this is old school really. When you go down to Augusta to the tournament, you'll see the older members with their green jackets on sitting around the tables and things, and a bunch of them will have on their old hats. A lot of them are sweat stained and things, but this is the members hat that you'll see down there. Players don't wear them anymore. They used to years ago, but you don't see this kind of hat anymore. So that's what you, if I have this on, we're going to talk golf. Everybody got it? Easy. If you remember last year when we closed out in June, I told y'all that you did really good last year. We had a great tournament. We made some good money. But I said we're going to do better next year, and we are, and I'm going to show you that in just a minute. Let's look real quick at what we did do last year. You hadn't forgotten. We had 120 players both our first 2 years, which was excellent. Last year we did $75,000, $75,888 in gross income versus $50 the first year. We made $58,134 versus $33 the year before. And we actually picked up our membership participation from 42 to 64%. So all the numbers for 2018 are positive, which is a good thing. We're just going to improve on those for next year. So, Larry, how are we going to improve on those numbers? Are we just going to do the same thing we did last year and hope, or what are we going to do? Nope, we're going to make some changes. So here are the changes for your golf tournament starting for this year. We're increasing our player's fee from $150 to $200. That's not a big deal, folks. The average tournament, scramble golf tournament like this, fee is probably anywhere from $250 to $350. So we're still going to be below market. And in honesty, we don't have a lot of players that pay individual fees. Most of our sponsors come in our players come in under sponsorships. So that's not a big deal, but it'll help us a little bit. We'll pick up a few $1,000s from doing that. In the prior 2 years, we had a sponsorship called the Paul Harris sponsor, which was $800. We only had 7 of those last year, so we've eliminated that sponsorship. Now, 4 of those 8, y'all listen to this, 4 of those 8 were club members. If you're a club member, and I know a couple of them are in here, and you had a Paul Harris sponsor, I'm grandfathering that in for you. So you'll still pay the $800 this year. So, but anybody else, we won't offer that $800 sponsorship to, only to the 4 club members who had it last year. We had a sponsorship last year called the Platinum Sponsor, which was $5,000. It was really good. We didn't sell any of them. So we've done away with that, and we've lowered it to $3,000, which is a little bit more in line with what second-tier sponsorships are. Same benefits, et cetera. We hope to get 3 of those this year. We've already got 1. So that'll bring us some more money. Hopefully we missed out on last year. Last year, as you recall, in our team competition, that's going to be funny later, don't forget that. In our team competition last year, we gave $100 gift cards to all the winners on the winning team. Next year, what we're going to do is we're going to give $100 to the charity of their choice, or the winning team can choose and give it all to one charity. The thought behind that was we kind of say to people that we give 100% of our money we make out. And I felt kind of funny giving out $800 or $900 last year in gift cards to individuals. So this way, it picks up another $1,000 or so that we're going to give out from the club, and your team's going to win that. I don't think anybody's going to be too concerned about losing a $100 gift card. Now, every team will be in competition with the A team. No, not that A team. See, I told you it was supposed to be funny. This is the A team that's made up of Hannibal Andrews and Faceman Tanksley. Now, the A team last year did $11,550 in sponsorships. So this year, each one of the teams, which you'll see later, is in competition with the A team. And there'll be some prizes that are awarded throughout the, hopefully, late spring as we see teams start to beat those guys. However, Curry and Jared were pretty incensed about this, and I don't think they're going to let that happen. So hopefully that's a little inter-club competition between Curry and Jared and the rest of the club. Last but not least, every club member this year, we're asking to be responsible for $500. Last year we asked for a whole sponsor, which is $250. So we're doubling that. That $500 can be 2 whole sponsors, it can be players, it can be any combination of funds and revenues to the tournament. You'll see what that means to us if that works. Remember a while ago we had 64% of our members participate last year, so we've got to improve that number. But that's the $500 that's going to happen, hopefully, and everybody will take up to that. Just so you'll know, you've heard me talk about the Franklin Morning Club's tournament. Now they've had a tournament for 25 years, which is a lot longer than we have. But their requirement this year is $1,000 per member. So I'm not going there. I don't plan to go there, but just to kind of put it in your grasp of understanding that $500 sounds like a lot until you realize that those guys are committed to $1,000. One other thing I say every year, and I'm going to say it again this year, I really don't want you to feel like you have to write a check for that $500 or for the $250, whatever you want to do. We do that in Pancake Day for a reason, a specific reason. It's a historical reason. It goes back to when Pancake Day started. We didn't have any fundraisers, so we had to raise money, and that was the way the powers to be at that time decided we would do it. We would sell Pancake Day tickets, and now it's become, it went from selling the tickets to now I think everybody just expects to write a check, which is fine. I'd write the check too. But I don't want us writing checks for this tournament. I want us to do it from outside the club. We had 8 members last year who wrote a check. I wrote a check. I will always write a check in memory, not in memory of, but to honor my wife and what she went through. And so I will always do that. And you can certainly write a check, but we had too many people last year that just said, I'll just write a check. Well, that didn't make me feel real good, first of all, because I don't want you just to write a check. I want you to get a sponsor, let the sponsor write the check, and you keep your money. So I say that every year. I'll probably say it again next year. But I don't expect you to write this check. I expect you to get this money from outside of our club. Dale Llewellyn.
Yes, sir.
Are you here?
I'm here.
Dale Llewellyn sold a sponsorship about 3 weeks ago, and we got the check for it. Sponsorship, our first check, boom. Have dinner on us, Bill. Art King, you're here, aren't you? Art King, last year, 2 sponsors. Right, Bart? Thank you, buddy. Appreciate it. Have lunch on us somewhere. Okay? There you go. Rick Finke, are you here? You were in the match today. Rick Finke, a new member last year, right? Went out and sold a sponsorship. Bang, just like that. Great. Thank you. Have lunch on us, Rick. Now you're seeing the efficiency of your Rotary Golf Club committee handing out what we're going to talk about next, which is your packet of information for the golf tournament. It'll take just a second. Last year I handed out like 3 pieces of paper to y'all, and I know that was a disaster, but I'm not telling where that paper ended up. So this year we kind of formalized it a little bit with a folder and a lot more information. Does everybody have? If you don't have a packet, raise your hand. Everybody got a packet? Got some over here that need packets. And what this is just a packet of information that should answer most of your questions when you're sitting around thinking, who can I call on to get a sponsorship, or why am I doing this, or whatever other question you might have. Somebody get the president on here.
I'll get my own.
Okay. In the packet, on the left-hand side, you'll see a list you might remember from last year of potential sponsors. I guarantee you know somebody on that list that you can get a sponsor from. Guarantee it you do. And I mean, when you look at that list, the first ones are kind of obvious, but read on down that list, especially on the, and I didn't make this list up. This list came from my wife's company, actually. But I added some things to it. But look down that right-hand side, and you'll see some things down there that'll just make you think, you know, I know this guy. He asked me to sponsor something for him one time, and yeah, I need to get something from him. So use that list. It's a great list. Right behind that is a new form that's just been made up thanks to Linas and Hunter McCarty. It's information on the BRCCF and how it works. So it's a nice form. It's a nice hard copy you've got of it there. When somebody says to you, yeah, well, what do y'all do in the Rotary Club? I mean, where's that money go? I mean, are you paying your dues with it, or I mean, where's that go? Here is something you can hand them, show it to them, whatever, that has all the information in a nice, easy to read format that explains to them what our BRCCF does. It explains to them what our 2019 goals are, who we're going to give that money to. And so it's just an easy, talkative piece that you can use when you meet someone. Behind that is the same thing we had in here last year I gave you. It's an elevator speech. It's kind of silly. It's kind of simple, but this works. It's between you and Joe, who's a prospective client, and it just kind of walks you through what to say when Joe says something. So if you're not sure, if you say, well, I don't know what to say, well, now you know what to say. It's easy. Behind that are 2 sponsor sign-up forms, which you can use to sign up either a whole sponsor or a major sponsor. You can also get that online, and I'm going to show you that later on, how you go online to get that same information. On the right side, this is going to be new to all of you, is the list of the 10 sales teams for this year. So you can look on there and find your sales team and know that your sales team captain drew you, selected you in a draft that we had a couple of weeks ago. It was a fun night, and we actually was just like kind of like the NFL draft. Everybody drafted players as they went down and picked who they wanted. What are the team? Who's here today from the team captain? Devin's here. Devin, stand up. Tom Carr's not here. Patrick's here. Beth's not here. Linus is here. Rodney's here. Jennifer Bourne is here. Oh, she's not here. Tom's here. Tom Helm, Hunter McCarty, and Dale Llewellyn. That's most of your team captains for this year, and so that's the people that are going to help you and help me make our goal. Behind the tournament information sheet is a list of our sponsor levels. And that's pretty much the same as last year, with the exception of the two that I told you earlier. We dropped the Paul Harris and we decreased the Platinum. We did add the second to the bottom where you see Cart Pass sponsor. We had one of those last year. That's a really unique sponsorship, and so we're going to offer 5 of those this year. And they are, like I said, it's very unique. It's a large logo, message, whatever, that will fit on the cart path. And as people are riding around playing golf, they'll ride over it, and everybody out there will see it. So that's a good one to sell if somebody wants a lot of exposure versus a hole sign, which is going to be sitting on a hole. So let's talk about what our goals are for 2019. Last year, our budget, I stood up here and told you our budget was to make $50,000, and we made $58,000. So let's just see kind of where we're going to fall this year and what our goals are. Number one, and maybe the most important goal, is to have a golf tournament that creates excitement and a memory for the sponsors and the players who will make them come back. And I think we've done that. Most of everybody that I've talked to, including the non-member, non-sponsor who I saw the other night and said, when is your tournament? I want to play. We had a great time last year. That's what we want to hear. And they like it because it didn't cost them a lot to play, first of all. They got a $50 gift card as their player's gift at a restaurant. They got dinner, they got lunch, and if they played well, they might have won something in the tournament. So it's a good tournament, and we've done a good job, I think, of making it a fun tournament. We want to have a full field of 120 players and a waiting list. Now, you can have 132 or 136 players out there at a tournament. It's done all the time. We don't want to do that because it makes it a long 5-hour plus round day. And that's, for golfers, that's no fun. So we're going to keep ours at 120. It moves fast. The reason why we want the waiting list is because next year, I want to have 2 starting times. I want to have a morning round and an afternoon round. That way we can go from 120 players to 180 players. And that's all money. It doesn't cost us any more to have that many players, except what the fee is for the player. So we're going to do that next year, but it's important that we get we had like a 1-team waiting list this year. We had a team drop out, so they got in. But I'd like to have this year 120 players and tell a bunch of other people, sorry, you can't get in. Next year we'll get you in. Number 3, the most important thing of the whole day, I want 90% participation from the members. We had 64 last year. 64% participation. 75 people out of 118 were involved. I want 90%. That's 106 people. That's 31 new people. So 31 of you who did not do anything last year are going to do something this year. I can just hear you telling me, I'm in, I'm in. Our profit next year, $70,000. 58 this past year, 70 this next year, $12,000 increase, 21% increase, the same percent we increased it last year. There's no reason on earth with 118 members in this club that we can't do that and go further even. But for 70 would make me very happy. Now, to make that $70,000, we need to increase of $12,000 net, and that equates to, for those bankers out there, profit margin is 77%, so we got to make $15,900 more. We got to have $15,900 more sales to get our $12,000. So you think, dang, Larry, we're going to get $15,900. We worked hard last year. Okay, here's where it's going to come from. If we get a 90% member participation, which is 31 members, and each one of those were to get their $500 goal, that's $15,500. Pretty close. If that didn't happen, and we just picked up 65 new hole sponsors, which we had 140 last year, if we get 65, that takes us to 200. Franklin Noon last year had 290-something hole sponsors.
Drew, you want me to put a blind up there, buddy? I couldn't tell if you were. So at 77%, we've got to get 15.9. Number 3, if we sell those 3 platinum sponsors I mentioned to you, we didn't sell any of them last year. We already sold 1. That's $9,000 more we'll make just from that one sale of 2 sponsors. If every member that had a sale last year, the 75, if every one of those members had 1 whole sponsor more, that's $18,750. If we get 100% member participation, 118 out of 118, at $500 each, that's $21,500. If we can't make $15,900 somehow this next year, then I'll be just terribly, terribly disappointed. So that's it. That's what our goal is. That's how we're going to get there. We can do it. Tim Stoll right there. Tim Stoll, you sold a sponsorship last year. Oh, sponsor, didn't you? Well, thank you, man. I appreciate that. Have lunch on us. There you go. The other day, one of our biggest producers, whose name I won't mention, said this to me, and I think I got almost right on this quote. I look at this as an opportunity for me to give back to my community and beyond, which gives me great pleasure. The fact that I do it as part of the Rotary team makes it even more special. That pretty well covers it. If you think that way, if you think, oh gosh, I've got to sell a whole sponsor for the Rotary Club, that's one way to look at it. The other way to look at it is, you know what, I'm going to be giving something back to my community. We've got 3 charities we're going to give a lot of money to. And we're going to give out a lot of money internationally. We're going to give away a bunch of scholarships. And I'm going to be a part of all that by selling this one dang whole sponsor. That's all it takes, is that attitude of thinking, it's not about a job, it's about me doing something to help my community. You've got a quiver of arrows that you can use. You've got a team captain who's dedicated to helping you. We had a long talk in our team captain's meeting about what they were going to do. They're out there to help you. We've got a list of potential sponsors. Everybody knows somebody on that list. You've got an elevator speech if you don't know what to say. You've got the backup of the A-team. Either one of the A-team guys will be glad to help you. They're pros at it, believe me. Just talk to them sometime if you want to hear what they think about selling stuff. And you got me. I'll be more than glad. I'm retired, by the way, if y'all didn't know that. I'm retired. Email me, call me, grab me after the meeting. I'll help you whatever way I can do it. Now, this is our team. We might as well make the best of it. Julie Porter, you here? Julie, you sold a sponsorship last year, didn't you? Whole sponsor? Well, thank you. Have lunch on us, Julie. Thank you. Okay, lastly, Jack Massari. Oh, okay, good. Jack Massari has created what I think is the easiest to use golf website that I've ever been on. And I've been on a lot of golf tournament websites. On this website, you can go on there and print off the information you need. You can print off your sponsorship levels. You can print off your applications for sponsorship. Our players can go on there and sign up. Our sponsors can go on there and sign up. Last year, we had 45 sponsors sign up online, which is outstanding. Once they know they can do that, they love it. They can go on there, put it on their credit card, bang, it's done. We had 8 players sign up, which is okay because we only had 12 players who weren't tied to a sponsorship. So we had 12 people that played independently, and 8 of them signed up online. So the online sponsorship works.
Sorry. It says contact where it came, then they'll have a contact.
If you click on that right there, it'll give you my email address. This is Jack Massari, baby. It's right. You can see when you click on that, go back. You can go back to the first page.
To the last slide?
Just go to the first page. No, the first page of the web page. Okay, so when you pull up our web page, up in the left-hand corner, you'll see Golf Classic. So anybody, the sponsor, you, the player, just clicks on that. There's some information about it. Tells them about where we're having it, when. Talks about our 3 major sponsors that we're honoring this year. And then if you're a golfer or a sponsor, you hit sign up here. And then below that are all of our sponsors. So if I want to be the Cart Pass sponsor, I go down and click on the Cart Pass sponsor, and it takes me right to the application where I fill it out, and I can fill my credit card information and pay it. And we won't do it, but the players works the same way. There's a player form on there. You can get back to it. Yeah, golfers sign up online here. So if I'm a golfer, I click on there, and there's all my information about who to sign up with, who my team is, etc. It's a great tool. So use that. Tell your clients that you talk to, your customers, your friends, you can do this online, and they'll love it. It's easy, I promise. If you want paper copies, I'll be glad to give them to you. Every meeting outside by the badges, there'll be a tray, and it'll have paper copies of all the applications. So if you want a paper copy, you get it there. If you don't find it, let me know. So what do y'all think? Can we do this? Yeah, sure we can do this. You know, we're still neophytes at this. This is our third year. So we're still learning, and everybody's going to learn together, and we're going to figure out how to make it work. But I've already showed you how it's going to work, so everybody should know that. I appreciate what everybody has done. I appreciate Linas for putting all this stuff together. I appreciate Jack for making the website work like it does, and I appreciate my 10 captains because I know they're going to make a big difference this year. So together we'll make this happen. Anybody got any questions? Harold Fogelberg, big time producer last year. Thank you, Harold. Take Harold to lunch.
If you brought in a sponsor last year, does the house now own that sponsor? In other words, in order to get credit for bringing in sponsors, do they have to be new sponsors?
No. Good question, though. No, any sponsor, even, I hope you bring back all the ones you brought last year. But yeah, you bring those back. It's what you sell this year. Anybody else? Yes, sir, Tim.
We have Jared remind us of his secret of success.
Do we have what?
Have Jared remind us of his secret of success.
You want to say anything?
Sure. Just ask.
And you know what? There is so much truth in that, it's not even funny. Just ask. If this person's a friend of yours, so what? If he says, hell no, then okay. I'm sorry I asked, but you know, just ask. Anything else? All right. Thank you all very much. Good luck. Hey, man, I got a question.
Members that aren't here today that could be on the team or on our team, so you have
Oh,
for them.
great. Wait a minute. Great point. New member inducted today. Ian Kelly, Synovus Bank, sponsor last year. You saw their 10 up there. We had in our team meeting the other night. We had some changes we had to make afterwards because of some resignations in our club. And Beth Dorminey's team ended up with an open spot in their number 2 spot. So I told her she gets the first person that joins next. So Ian is now on Beth's team, and Beth can take advantage of that membership that Ian's going to get us again from Synovus. And I'm not trying to put words in your mouth, but so yeah, and then the newer members, we've got 2 more that are waiting to be approved. Once they're approved, they'll roll on 2 teams also.
And then the members that aren't here today.
Not here today.
Members aren't here today.
Oh, I'll have these packets every meeting.
From now on out.
Yeah. I tell you what I'll do too. I'll get Donna to put that list of teams on the website so people can see it, or send it out to them. Okay, good question. Thank you.
You know, Larry, some of us can't fit back here like that, so we're going to push it back up here. All right. So, y'all know what we need to do to increase what we're going to do for next year. Wait a minute, fellas. Look at you guys. All right, we're getting out of here. All right, so if you would, help us put the tables and chairs back as always. Thank you so much for coming. Enjoy your weekend. And if there's nothing else for the good of Rotary, we are adjourned. Goodbye, Steve, Jim, all you guys.
Thank you. That was better than I imagined.
That was great.
I'm sure it worked out well.